Greetings. This is video 3.2 on demand shifts. We're going to be focusing on what causes demand shifts, um, and we're going to look at the relationship between demand shifters. Okay. Uh, Hopefully, I do this on the right notes, the one I created. Okay, double check. That's my name. When the day comes, it should have a hot link to this video, demand shifts. And we left off and I had showed you this visual. You might be wondering, well, why did I show you this visual? Well, the reason why there's a demand shift depends on how you look at it. But generally, we're going to look at things in this unit as all other things being constant, and we'll just look at the effect on demand. And generally, when there's an increase in demand, you get a shift to the right on the demand curve. And when there's a decrease, you get a shift to the left. That's the main issue. Let me just say that one more time. And to help you, go ahead and do this with your thumbs. I know it might seem silly, but it'll help you remember. So when demand goes up, go ahead and put your left thumb up. Go ahead and put your thumb to the right. Demand goes up, shifts to the right, and then do the opposite. When demand goes down, it shifts to the left. If you remember that, look at where your thumbs are in both situations. You'll remember because you're going to get asked this repeatedly. Okay, that's really what it's going to be a key focus area. So the factors on demand shifters are income. Generally, as your income changes, your demand for products changes. You're willing and able to pay for more expensive things as your income rises, and you're not willing and able to pay for um, some things as your income falls. Expectations of future price can affect your demand. If you think the price is going to go down in the future, your current demand will go down. If you think prices are going to go up in the future, your current demand will go up to avoid the price jump or benefit from the price drop. It'll it'll affect when you want things. The price of related goods can affect things too. If it's a good that's a replacement good, easily replaced, if the price of one thing go down, the demand can shift to a different product that's similar but not the same. Likewise, if there's no good replacement, then it'll tend to go up. Also, consumer taste, you get these fads where things get crazy popular for a time, where the price of related goods, yeah. And if you get more buyers, let's say Lodi becomes the hot spot in the valley and 200,000 people move to town. If that was the case, it would really benefit business because they'd have more customers. And so a larger customer base improves things because you get an increase in buyers. I totally did that out of order. That was sort of on purpose because now I'm going to go back in. Income is a demand shifter. Expectations on future price. I would write this in, even though I didn't put a blank in. That's really what it means. Number of buyers. Yeah. Notice by doing it this way, consumer taste. Think of the pet rock. Think of the mood ring. These were fads, or I don't know, Beanie Babies, Cabbage Patch Dolls. Some things that have been fads throughout the years. All right. What causes a shift in demand? When you're talking income, it could change uh, how a consumer wants something. So, a normal good is as income rises, demand increases. Okay, as demand will increase as income rises, there'll be corollaries. An inferior good, as income rises, demand will decrease. So consider, I don't know, there's a 15% increase in wages in Lodi. What's the demand for new cars? It goes up. You get a right shift. But then the demand for used cars will be a left shift. It'll go down. All right. Hopefully you follow that. In any event, some goods, as you make more, you'll want more of. Some goods, as you make more, you'll want less of. When I was broke uh, and going to college, when I ran out of money at the end of the month, I would consume top ramen to get by. Let me reject the spam call. It even says spam on there. So, yeah, I don't need to answer that. So that was as I made more money. I never really wanted top ramen again because would eat it like 2 or 3 days in a row at the end of the month when I always seemed to run out of money. And I was always debating, do I call mom and ask for $50 or not? Because I knew she would give it to me whenever I asked, but I didn't want to ask because I knew the amount of money she had was kind of tight. So I kind of only would call every 3 months when I just couldn't take it anymore. Um, anyway, yeah, that was an inferior good for me because I really don't eat top ramen anymore. And frankly, can't stand it anymore, even though there's nothing wrong with it. It's just me and my consumption pattern. Anyway, consumer expectations. Whether we not or not we expect a good to increase or decrease in price in the future will affect current demand. Okay, so this is about current demand. How much do I want something right now? Well, if I know the price is going to go down in the future, I'm going to want to wait to buy it. I'm going to wait for the sale. But if I know it's going up, I want to load up because I don't want to be hit by the price increase. Okay, so do the thumbs again. Okay, it goes up to the right, goes down, goes to the left. Okay. Anyway, uh, consider the price of gasoline. Let's say we're expecting uh, not even 10 cents. Let's say $1 gallon more next week. What's the demand for gas this week? It's high. Right when you know the price is going to go up, you're going to want to keep that tank extra full and maybe fill any tanks that you have. Maybe it's a boat, maybe it's gas cans, everything. Because you'd rather get it at the current price than the future one. Hopefully that makes sense. Speaking of fuel prices, I just want to kind of show you something. Uh, there was a time when gas was less than $1 a gallon. This might be hard for you to believe because in your lifetime, I doubt you've seen it under $2 and probably only $3 at times. And now we're surging past $4, uh, August 31st, 2021. See the price on the left on the Exxon sign? That's less than $1. After the Katrina hurricane, there was a major price bump because they had trouble getting fuel into the area because the roads were all washed out. And so you get this huge charge of prices, even though people were trying to do salvage and help work with boats. So there was still a big demand for gasoline. This didn't last, it was a short term because of a shortage in the market. But you see, it's pretty severe, right? $6 a gallon. Um, it's possible gas prices will stabilize at this $4 for a few years, but it's also possible it becomes $10 a gallon in the next 5 years. You just never know. So relying on this one source becomes a concern. And with all the push for electric cars, it actually might go down the price because demand might go down. It used to be all the fuel source, like for light, was not electricity. It used to be like kerosene, and then like before that, it was whale oil. Luckily, they're not doing whale oil because they almost killed all the whales um, because the market kept demanding more whale oil. But it's changed over the years. It was kerosene, and then they found they had this byproduct from I think making kerosene that was gasoline, but then that worked as a fuel source. So yeah, that's the major fuel source now. But it doesn't mean it has to be or will continue to be. As a fuel source, it's not really good for the environment because of emissions. So yeah. Anyway, population number of buyers can affect demand. Think of where you'd want to put your store, right? You want your store where there's going to be a lot of people because then you have a lot of consumers to buy that product. That's why it's good for some places to be near the gas station, a school, or a place where a lot of people go shopping, like Arden Fair Mall in Sacramento. Um, Lodi, let's say, gets 10,000 more people this year. What's going to happen to the demand for a house? Of course, is going to go up. And when it goes up, you get a demand shift to the right. But let's say 10,000 people leave because, oh, I don't know. Um, let's say something bad happens here. There's, I don't know. Oh, because maybe a bunch of houses are built on the Delta and people want this river views. So people leave Lodi to go live on the Delta. And so, say 10,000 people leave, left shift, you're going to have a decrease in demand for most products. Okay, let's write that in. When demand increases, you get a right shift. If you're doing the thing with the thumbs, I'm telling you, it's going to help you. And maybe on the next video, I will get my face in there so I can show you the thumb things I was talking about. Do it on this video. But I think it could help you remember which way the curve goes. But it is pretty logical too. Let's keep going. Let's look at this one. So, demand curve shifters on the number of buyers. Suppose the number of buyers increases. Then at each price, the quantity demanded will increase by 5. In this example, when you got a straight line, by the way, it tends to be a unitary demand curve. When you have a curved one, it's not unitary. It's more dependent on the price. Anyway, that's going to come up in a later unit. Suppose the number of buyers increases. Okay, if the buyers increases, we're going to get more demand at higher prices. All right, see how that works? So if we got more buyers at $6 instead of five purchases being requested, you're going to have, I don't know, 12. And at 5, you'll go from 10 to 17. 4. Okay. At 4, you'll go from 12 to, I don't know, 20. At 3, you'll go from 15 to 22-ish, I guess. So, in other words, as the number of buyers goes up, the demand at each price goes up. Okay, that's clear. Let's take a good look. And this is really, if you can follow this part of it, I think you're going to be real good in this unit. Because that's the main issue. What happens when there's a change? Okay. If you had fewer buyers, this whole line would shift to the left because there would be less demand at each price. All right. Consumer tastes. Advertising can play a big role in trends and influences. Kind of pointed out to you last unit how patriotism can affect demand. But there's a reason why you see patriotic images, puppies, celebrities, and uh, what's another one? Usually it's patriotic images, celebrities, and animals because people like those things and humor and advertising, and people remember it. And if this person likes it, then I'm going to like it. And so that's why advertisers rely on celebrity influencers. And now there's this whole thing, of course, as most of you know, where some people that they get a lot of YouTube followers, that's like their life, that's their job. Um, and, it's really weird to me that because you like something, other people are going to like it. But I guess it's true um, for some people. Because you admire someone, you want to be like them. Okay. Anyway, advertising plays an important role in many trends, and therefore, what are we writing? Influences demand. Think of, if I could be like Michael Jordan. You know, that was a thing for a long, long time because he was the best basketball player. Beyonce tells interviewers, no offense, Kobe. Uh, Kobe loved Mike, so I don't think he would take offense. Beyonce tells his interviewer she only drinks Coke. What happens when she says that? More people want to buy Coke. And then Coke is probably going to want to work with her as an advertising rep because they're going to like that. And if they see her drinking Pepsi, the other people switch back because people like Beyonce more than they like soda. Anyway, you're going to get a right shift because people dig Beyonce. If, on the other hand, someone starts hating on something, say like internet bloggers, people on the internet are particularly mean. They see the latest Emily Blunt movie. Let's say it was the remake of Mary Poppins. Um, what happens to demand for that good? Though I don't know how they could bash that one. I thought it was good. But let's say they bashed it. The demand's going to go down, and then you're going to get a left shift on the demand curve because fewer people are willing to watch it at a certain price. I think she was also in Jungle Cruise. I just saw that. There's another economics issue in there, but I'm only going to get to it if it comes up. All right, let's go to the next one. Price of related goods. This can cause demand shifts too. So, some goods are complementary: peanut butter and jelly, peas and carrots, skis and ski boots. Uh, I don't know, a basketball and basketball shoes. You kind of need both. It's a package deal. Otherwise, it doesn't work. HD TV and an HD player. You need both. So when you're talking complementary goods, these are goods that are typically bought and sold and used together. They're a combo. Without one, the other one's not as effective. So let's say the price of peanut butter goes down. What happens to the demand for jelly and its complement? It's going to go up because people are going to want more peanut butter if the price goes down and everything else stays constant. So there's going to be an increase in demand because the complementary good is also has an increase in demand. But some goods are substitutes. They're not complements, they're substitute. Um, Snowboard instead of skiing, Coke instead of Pepsi, um, chicken instead of steak. You ever see the Chick-fil-A thing? That's what they're saying by having the cow saying, eat more chicken. So when it's a replacement good, it's a substitute. Let's say you're choosing between a laptop and a tablet. Could be substitutes. Though probably not, but maybe. I looked up tablet prices, by the way. I was surprised that they really haven't gone down. They actually have gone up. So I think they're increasingly popular um, because people like the touch apps because it's like their phone, even though it's on a bigger platform. Anyway, um, but that's the general rule. If you can get a substitute, like if you like strawberries and blueberries, and one's cheaper, you might go for the one versus the other. Especially if they're both in season. If you like stone fruit, you're choosing between nectarines and peaches. One's got on sale, you're probably going to go for the one on sale. And that's the way it's going to typically work. All right, let's review real quick. A change in price will not shift the demand curve, it only causes a movement along the curve. Okay, so remember, if the price just changes, that's the only issue, you stay on the same line. It's only the price. But if there's a future price, if there's an income issue, if there's more buyers, if there's supplement substitute goods readily available, if there's an increase in consumer, um, and some of those consumer trends are just things get popular at certain times. Like this pet rock thing got popular at Christmas one year, or this mood ring thing. So that shifts things to the right. But otherwise, if it's just price, that's the factor, you stay on the same line. Okay, whether it's income, expectations, number of buyers, Consumers' tastes are price-related goods. The income thing is generally if it's a more expensive product, you're more willing and able to pay it as you can afford more. And some things that you used to buy when you didn't have as much money, you'll go away from once you have more money. Let's say you prefer steak to hamburger. Maybe you start buying more steaks as you make more money and have less hamburger, or something like that. Okay. So it says draw a demand curve for hybrid cars. Indicate an increase in price of hybrids. Draw indicate the demand for hybrids if gas prices are expected to rise. So indicate demand for hybrids if studies link increased cancer rates to hybrid ownership. And indicate the demand for hybrids if it becomes fashionable to own one. Okay, let's give it a try. How can we most easily do that? Well, I think if you just copy this into a table and then just go ahead and hit return here, then we go insert table. No, not insert table. Insert drawing. And then do plus new. And then we'll go paste. And then we'll just make that go away like this. Let's kind of kick this over. We can save a little room here. Be good. Might not be able to. All right. It's okay. We'll just make a smaller line. So let's make our lines. If you hit line, go here, and then you go. Go line again. Oh, and you just click on the top one and bring it down. Okay. I would like to make a new line. There we go. Okay, let's try to bring this one. Control Z is a quick way to undo things. I think that's good enough for me on a line. Let's see. Let's tilt it down. Okay. So if there's let's say, let's put in a text box. So look for the action. You see this one right here? I think this is a text box. And we're going to just make up some numbers. I think if we do it this way, let's say 50K, and then 40K, and 30K, and then 20K, and 10K. And then let's see if we can space it out a little bit more. That's too much. So instead, let's do this. Just move this whole thing down until we get the 10K exactly where we want it. Yeah, that's good. So that's the price. And then we'll put another text box below. Go 500, 1,000, 1,500, and 2,000. So if I want it bigger, I just go make it bigger. If I want to to show this is price, I could just add in a dollar sign. Pretty good idea. Have I made a table? You bet I did. Now we got to start throwing in numbers. Let's say at $10,000, consumers would want 10 cars or 2,000 cars. And now we're going to want to draw in our line here. But at 20,000 cars, people want 1,500. At 1,000 car, people will want 30,000. Or 1,000. At 30,000, people want 1,000. At 40,000, people will want 500. Nobody will want a hybrid car at 50,000. Let's say that's the case. Okay. If gas prices are expected to go up, indicate an increase in price of hybrids. So where do we put in the increase in price? So now we got to put in these letters. That's right here. It's on the actual, let's put in lowercase because we got lowercase in there, right? That's right here on the curve. All right. Because it stays on the curve. It's a price change. It's not a price shift. Indicate the demand for hybrids of gas prices. If gas prices are going to go up, everyone's going to want more of these. So we're going to copy our line. We're going to paste it. And we're going to move it exactly where we want it. That's going to be B. Because more people are going to want it at that certain price. Then I just write in the letter B. Boom, done. Indicate the demand if studies link increased cancers to hybrid ownership. Okay, my last copy and paste was this line, so I just got to do it again. And then I'll throw it in right here. By the way, no one's linked. This is not an actual true thing. Notice people are willing to pay less and buy less at each particular price. They would never sell it for zero. So we could shrink that up a little bit. And then I got to put in the C letter in again, right? So let's do that. And I could put those little boxes in anywhere. If it becomes fashionable to own one, if more people becomes popular, I think that would be the same as B. So B and D are both in the same place because that would be a consumer trend, right? Yeah. See how that box isn't the best? Just make it a little bigger. I think that's good. Let's see if we can slap it into our notes. Ta-da! This is what we're going to do this time. We're going to make another one. This time it's going to be for Pepsi Cola. I think these are kind of hard. So what I'm going to do is add the point value, 10 points per one of these. And then on the rest of the notes, that's 20. So that's what we're going to do. Let's see how I'm going to shift the value to make it more worth your while to try to do this. But I'm also showing you how to do it. So hopefully you're getting the hang of it. I'm getting the hang of it. I haven't used the drawing tools that much, but I know that's going to affect our total value and increase it by, what, 20? And I think that the general value was 370, something crazy like that. And now I think it's going to be 390. I'll be checking on that. But let's go ahead and put in total points. And definitely it's 20 more. So let's do that nice and big. it's going to be highly valuable, these notes altogether, even though I'm kind of walking you through it pretty gently. So hopefully this is a good way for you to be consistently successful in this class. All right. Which takes us back to what we were working on. We were looking at the demand for Coke. Maybe I should put this in my header now. So you see this is highly valuable, right? And let's go ahead and get this part in there too. It's important to get the notes updated as you make changes. All right, let's see if we can do the other one. I think that came out pretty good, but let's see if we can do the other one. I bet you the more we practice with this, I bet you the better we'll get. So it's going to be 10 points per graph because I know it's kind of not the easiest thing to do. If you really want to just draw it by hand and do it that way, you can. I think this looks nicer though, but I don't care that much. So if it really matters to you, do it your way. All right, let's see if we can do it. Let me go back to the line. Good enough. Okay, so we're going to do a demand curve for Pepsi Cola. Instead of being that super expensive one, we're going to go, we'll max out the price at $3.50. That's the way to do it, every 50 cents. We'll start at 3. We'll go to 250. We'll go to 2. We'll go to 150. We'll go to 1. And then we'll go to 10cents. And let's say we're not loving where it is. I just got to adjust it. Just move the box a little. Looks pretty good to me. That looks pretty good to you. And the more you're forgiving with me, the more forgiving I'll be with you. So if you don't like the size of your box, see right here, if you grab it where the box is, you could change it. Now I'm going to just make the line a smidge longer. That's pretty good. Then let's throw in another text box. And I don't know. We'll start with 500, 1,000. Let's go with 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. Let's go all the way across. Get nice and big. So again, I can always shift it, right? 60,000. I don't know how much Coke America and Pepsi people consume. Probably a lot. I don't think these numbers are crazy. Might even be not high enough. But I know the numbers don't really matter. I know what really matters is the analysis. Okay. So let's assume at 50 cents, people want 70,000. But this time, let's try a curved one. And whose price is this one? Okay, that looks terrible. I don't know. I hate that. Let's try it from the other side. Curve. Let's see. Good enough. So if there's a decrease in price, now we got to label it. Ah, stop. So what happened there is things started getting messed up. So I think if you click back on this, you can reset. So I do want a curved line. Let's try that again. This time I'm gonna make it more curved line. And then I could change its by just messing with the box. Okay. Indicate on the graph a decrease in price. So where should I put letter A? Somewhere where the price is lowest. So somewhere over here. So let's put the letter A there. And let's assume our dot is right on it. Let's go ahead and put it right on that graph. See, I've got it right there. That's just a hair off of it. Looks good. See how it's right on there. Indicate to Gurm if you heard it was going on sale next week. So what would happen is, um, if it went on sale next week, the current demand would go down, right? So let's copy our thing. See how I clicked on there and I hit copy, then I hit paste, and then move the one by, let's shrink it a little first. And then we'll take it and then click on it. And then you should be able to see once you have that little icon, that's good. And then stretch it back out. Now it's the same curve, but it's shifted left. And now we need to put in the letter B. Go back to our text box. And then write in B. Make sure it's big enough. You can see and right near that curve. Okay. See, the demand for Pepsi if Coke is on sale. Coke is on sale. That's a substitute item. That's going to also shift to the left like this one. So it's going to be a decrease. So it'll be similar to this one. I think we can just use the same curve. That's all right. It's all right by me at least. Let's see. Good. What about the demand for Pepsi? Pepsi tastes better than Coke. When people believe it, here's what's going to happen. Paste in that curve again with the Control V. Control V is paste. But this time we're going to take it and make it bigger. So we're going to put it right here. We're going to go way off the graph. We're going to make it bigger like this. Now we're going to take it here. We're going to stretch it. This is showing the demand curve increased. Now we're going to put in our last identifying point, letter D. Boom. Save and close. See if it's in there. Oh, look at that beauty. All right, cool. So good. Each one of those graphs was worth 10 points to you. Hopefully it wasn't too hard for you. What factors can cause shift in the demand curves? Let's see if we can get them all. Factors causing shifts in demand curve, not just moving along with price changes, but real shifts include. So we're making a list. Notice how I set it up. Put some words in ahead of time. Income, change in future price, change in number of buyers, whether it's more or less, consumer trends, often affected by advertising, and I don't know, there's a fifth one. What's the fifth one? price of related goods. Or is it a substitute good? Is it a complementary good? That's it. The next one we will answer, but I'm not going to type it out. Let's change price. One good affect the demand for related good. Okay. Change in price of a complementary good is corollary moves up and down with the other good. But a supplementary good, oh, it was a butchering on the spelling of supplementary, uh, but a supplementary good uh, has an opposite effect. So if I can replace it, so if the price of Coke goes down, um, then I might buy that instead of Coke or Pepsi, and then so the demand for Pepsi, if demand for Pepsi goes up for whatever reason, then the demand for Coke. Complementary goods work together. Peanut butter and jelly. If the demand for one goes up, the demand for the other goes up. Demand for the one goes down, the other goes down. Supplementary good, it's opposite. If the demand for one goes up, the other one goes down. If the demand for one goes down, the other one goes up. So it's opposite. So wrong use of complementary. We needed the one with the E, not the I. Hopefully that makes sense. I think that's time to end this video. See, that one was long. So this might be a good one to look at twice if you got confused and have this to be a target unit of study come exam time. I'm going to cut off the video at this time. Hope this was helpful for you. Peace, peace, peace. We'll pick up at 3-3 next time. Thank you.